Okay. We're coming to you from Backstage, the Iowa City Jazz Festival. I'm Hollis, Monroe. Happy Independence Day, everybody. I am pleased to be joined by Mary Louise Knutson, jazz pianist, composer. She's played alongside some of the biggest names in jazz, in addition to pursuing a very successful solo career and an educator as well. You know how we feel about jazz education here. Well, over the years, she has played with folks like Dizzy Gillespie, Bobby McFerrin, Diane Reeves, one of my personal favorites, the greatest, well, I shouldn't say greatest, one of the greatest band leaders and trumpeters of all time, Doc Severinsen. And thank you so much. You also tour regularly with your trio, which is very highly talented. I'm a big fan. And, well, welcome to the Iowa City Jazz Festival for the very first time, I understand.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm just pleased to be here. It is my first time, and this festival looks amazing. I've just got to the grounds here, and it's just as amazing. And the school group that's playing, they sound awesome.
Oh, we have some amazing talent here in the corridor.
I can see that, yeah.
Now, and it's a rare pleasure to welcome a fellow Midwesterner to the Iowa City Jazz Festival. Are you a native Minnesotan?
I grew up in Wisconsin, actually.
Oh, okay.
So Midwest.
Still Midwest.
Yep, not too far away.
Now, you have won numerous awards and accolades, but you had to start somewhere. How did this great voyage of music start?
Well, I studied classical pianos from the age of 4 and kept playing all the way through college, got a degree in classical piano, and somewhere along the way, I actually, back in high school, I went to the Eastman School of Music for a summer camp, and I was studying classical music there, but there were kids studying jazz there. And that summer, I was like, what is this? I was not exposed to jazz, really, except I'm now remembering, or recently remembering, that I grew up with the Mr. Rogers show, who had Bob Costa on the piano playing trio. So I listened to jazz every morning as a kid, I guess, you know.
And don't forget Handyman Joe Negri.
Okay, yes.
Great guitarist.
Yes. Oh, okay, all right. But so... going to the Eastman School, you know, for that summer, I was really exposed to a lot of jazz, and I was inspired. And so I, you know, after high school, I went off to college, was still studying classical, but I really kept jazz in my mind. I was like, I want to do that. And I got involved in as much jazz as I could. You couldn't major in it. I went to Lawrence University in Appleton, Wisconsin, a great liberal arts school and a great conservatory there, and a wonderful jazz program, but it was extracurricular. And I did as much as I could there. I didn't understand what I was doing, but, you know, I tried it. And by the end of my college years, I was like, I really want to go and play jazz. I've had a lot of classical, and I know what that's about. I just want to go in this other direction. And so I just studied, you know, as much as I could there. And then once I got out of college, I, you know, would sit in my apartment and play records and transcribe and go to jam sessions, and just, you know, it was scary in the beginning. I was so used to playing written notes, you know, and didn't know how to improvise, and it was a long process, but I loved it so much that I wanted to keep going. Yeah.
So what was your first official performance as a jazz performer? Do you remember?
Oh.
I know.
Oh, that's hard. I mean, but it's hard to know. Well, when I was in Minneapolis, I had just lived there for, say, 6 months, and I was trying to meet people and all that, and I remember going back to Wisconsin for Easter with my family, and I got a call. We didn't have texts at that point, but I got a call at that point from a band leader in Minneapolis, said, "Are you available tomorrow?" And I was going to have Easter dinner, you know, with them, with my family, but I'm like, I got a call for a gig. And I, you know, my family understood. They were excited for me, and I got my gig, and I went back to Minneapolis, you know, and played the gig. So
nice.
That was great. That was one of my first gigs. I do remember also being on this is kind of a scary moment, but being on a solo gig very, very early on. And it was at a bar, and somebody said, "Hey, do you know how to play such and such?" And I was like, I don't know that tune. And then, and then he goes, "Ma'am, you're just horrible." Yeah, he said that to me. He said, "You're terrible," and I felt terrible when he said that. But, that's the kind of stuff you run into in the music business, is people saying weird things to you. So I got over it, and it was a good test of my commitment, right? So.
And you went on to perform with so many great people alongside Dizzy Gillespie. And I've got to know, what's it like working with Doc Severinsen?
Oh, well, he's a dear man. I toured with him from 2010 to 2018, and he was funny. He's still alive,
yes,
but no longer touring. He was funny. He was fun to be around. He still wore all those crazy outfits, colorful, creative outfits, and still played the trumpet so beautifully. And I learned, a lot just watching him be a band leader. And he was so clear about what he wanted, and I aim for that as well. But it was so fun. We did big band concerts with only one original member, and it was Ernie Watts on saxophone.
Oh.
Yeah, if you're going to have an original member, Ernie Watts, amazing sax player. He was on the band, and we did big band tours all over the country for about 4 of those years, and another 4 of those years were just the trio, just Doc's trio, which I was in, piano, bass, and drums. We would go and play with city symphonies, so all over the country playing with symphonies. I loved that as well. It was wonderful. I miss it so much. Yeah.
Now, you seem to really enjoy a trio setting,
Yeah.
and you've had various trios that you put together over the years for recording. Gordon Johnston seems to be a regular on the bass for you,
Yeah.
but you've also had drummers Phil Hay, who's actually performed here at the Iowa City Jazz Festival. I think the last time was with the late Akiko Tsuruga a few years back. Well, who's your trio this time?
On bass, I have Dan Carpel,
Okay.
and on drums, I have Greg Schutte. And I'm new to Dan, actually. We've met in the last year. Gordon Johnson, who's been my regular bass player for so many years, he moved to Albuquerque, in Mexico. Yeah. So I have, I've been searching for a new bass player. I found Dan. He's really a wonderful player. And Greg I've used on my gigs over the years, and he's recorded with me before. And he's amazing player too. I just love his soloing. But they're a fun group, really energetic players. I love them.
Now, we talked a little bit earlier about perhaps a new recording coming out.
Yeah.
Is this going to be with this trio, or are you working with another group of individuals? Or?
I luckily got Gordon Johnson on bass for before he moved. Now, I started recording this, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, maybe even 4 years ago. Started the process, and so Gordy was still in town, and in fact, one of our recording sessions was his last recording session in Minneapolis, and I think he left the next day.
The last one as he headed out the
yes,
door.
Yeah, and anyway, so he's on it mostly, I think, and then I have a few drummers on it, and I'm excited. I hope we get it done by the end of this year for sure. Yeah.
Oh, please send us a copy when you
bet.
do.
You bet.
Now, as I noted earlier, that we're a big fan of jazz education, and you yourself are a noted jazz educator. I mean, you've taught jazz and improvisation, Carlton Northfield in Minnesota. You've music master classes as well, making sense of jazz for a non-musician. That's just a big one as well. So we're very big. What's your approach on, or philosophy, or how do you view jazz education, the state of it, where it's going, how you approach it? Tell us about your view of jazz education right now.
Well, I'm pleased that kids are still, learning jazz now. I mean, I kind of, you kind of don't know whether, jazz is going to survive sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, the coming and going of clubs, and you just and funding for jazz or music education in general. Funding has been cut at so many schools, so you just don't know whether the kids are going to grow up knowing jazz at all, playing it. So I'm pleased that, you know, I see a lot of beautiful musicians, young musicians here playing, and around Minnesota as well. I have a lot of adult students actually in my piano studio, and a few young kids who are learning jazz piano, and that's wonderful. I enjoy the adults too, and sometimes when I do these master classes, I teach that Making Sense of Jazz class. That's for non-musicians, and I try to educate people on what it is, what we're doing up there. You know, a lot of people don't realize that there's a form to a song, and then we are repeating that form. They're like, well, I don't get jazz because I don't know where it's going, you know. And we are really just repeating a form top to bottom over and over and over, and our improvisation is over that form. And then we just come back to the melody again, which is that same form. So there is a structure underlying what we're doing.
There's a method to the madness.
Yeah, and I also like to teach people about some of the hand signals we're doing up there. You know, it's kind of like baseball.
Yeah.
You know, there's hand signals or looks that we give each other that give each other a clue what's coming next. So, you know, a lot of people say, well, what's happening? How do you know, like, when the drum solo's done, right? You know, well, we're looking at each other, but we're also counting the form and measures. And anyway, that's a fun thing for me, too.
So do you develop different signals and communications with all these different people you play with?
No, the hand signals and looks and eyes and stuff, they're all the same.
Universal.
Yeah, they're universal. Yeah. So, you know, I could meet somebody today and play jazz, and they would know those signals, too.
I understand that.
Yeah.
So what are we going to hear today? Are we going to hear anything that's coming up in the new recording, or?
Yeah. There's, let's see. We're going to do, for sure, Stevie Wonder's Don't You Worry About a Thing.
Oh, nice.
I love that. I love Stevie. And we're doing that. It's my new jazz arrangement of that. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I got my set list right here. Let's see. Yes, we're doing a blues called Miss Bliss that's new. That's an original. That'll be on the new album.
Oh, are you going to do your bluesette?
We're going to do my bluesette.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. That's from my In the Bubble CD.
In the Bubble, yes.
Yeah, thank you. I enjoy that, too. I haven't played it in a long time, and I missed it. And I thought, I'm just going to pull it out.
How often do you get to go back and revisit some of these pieces that you performed and maybe re-envision them or just look at them again?
Yeah. Well, you know, I forget about them sometimes because I want to move on, and like at a certain point you're like, oh, I played those songs a lot, and so it's time for new stuff. But then you're into the new stuff, and then you miss the old stuff. So every once in a while you bring back the old stuff. But honestly, I have to like practice the old stuff. You know, it takes a lot of review to go, now what did I do on that song? What was the form? What did I do here? I just, you know, I kind of want to do it like the recording, you know, as far as the form structure and the vibe.
Yeah, it's a crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
Well, Mary Louise Knutson, thank you so very much. The Mary Louise Knutson Trio taking the stage 2 p.m. here at the Iowa City Jazz Festival. Something new and something bluesette. I can't wait. Thank you so very much.
Oh, you're welcome, Hollis. Thank you. Appreciate it.